Taoism. Imagine waking up every day with a calm mind, unshaken by chaos, focused on what truly matters. That's not a fantasy. That's Stoicism, an ancient philosophy built on clarity, strength, and discipline. This is not about cold showers for the algorithm or journaling for aesthetics. This is about doing what works every single morning to build mental armor before the day begins. Let's break down the 7 things every Stoic did in the morning and how you can do them too. Find the practice. Morning reflection. The Stoic way to begin the day with mental armor. Every morning, before the world enters your head, you have a sacred window of time. Short, quiet, and immensely powerful. What you do in those first minutes sets the tone for the rest of the day. The ancient Stoics knew this. To them, the morning was not about rushing, reacting, or jumping into tasks. It was about preparing, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, for the inevitable challenges ahead. They treated the morning as a battlefield briefing. Not dramatic, but deliberate. One of the most famous Stoics, Marcus Aurelius, the emperor of Rome and arguably the most powerful man in the world at his time, began each day with a quiet confrontation of truth. He wrote, "Say to yourself in the morning, 'Today I shall meet with meddling, ungrateful, violent, treacherous, envious, and unsociable people.'" This wasn't pessimism. It was preparation. He knew that by expecting difficulty he would not be surprised and not shaken when it arrived. This is what modern Stoics call morning reflection, the act of looking ahead to your day and mentally preparing for it, with honesty, humility, and strength. Why does this matter? Because most people wake up and immediately react. The alarm goes off. They grab their phones, scroll through emails, news, or social media. Their mind is already scattered, already comparing, already anxious. They've given up control before their feet hit the floor. Morning reflection is the opposite of that. It's intentional, grounded. Still, it's your chance to take back ownership of your mind before the day tries to steal it. Let's explore how to practice it and why it works. Step 1. Create space. Before anything else, you need silence. No phone, no noise, just space. That could be a few minutes while sitting on the edge of your bed, standing in the shower, or sitting with your coffee. Don't complicate it. You don't need incense or a perfect meditation cushion. You need presence. Even just 3 to 5 minutes will make a difference. Step 2. Ask the right questions. Reflection starts with questions, not answers. The goal isn't to solve your life in one sitting. It's to orient your mind toward clarity and courage. Here are some questions to guide your reflection. What might challenge me today? What kind of person do I want to be even if the day is hard? Where might I be tempted to complain, judge, or lose control, and how can I respond instead? What can I let go of before I even begin? Notice, these aren't surface level. They're not productivity hacks. They're character-building prompts. Because Stoicism isn't about getting more done, it's about becoming someone worthy of trust, especially your own. Step 3. Visualize challenge. The Stoics didn't believe in hoping for the best. They believed in preparing for the worst, without fear. That's why Marcus would literally name the types of people he expected to encounter. The selfish, the angry, the rude. Because when you expect it, you can endure it. You might not meet a traitor today, but you might face a rude customer, an ungrateful colleague, a delayed train, or a missed deadline. If you visualize those difficulties ahead of time, not with dread but with resolve, you build what the Stoics called prohoresis, the ability to choose your response, no matter what happens. You stop being reactive. You become intentional. Step 4. Remind yourself what you control. One of the foundational principles of Stoicism is the dichotomy of control. There are things you control and things you do not. You control your thoughts, your actions, your attitude. You do not control other people, the weather, traffic, or how someone responds to your email. In your morning reflection, say to yourself, I can't control the outcome. I control the effort. I can't control others. I control how I treat them. I can't control events. I control how I interpret them. This simple shift brings power back to where it belongs. You. Step 5. Choose a guiding thought. End your reflection with a short phrase or quote to carry with you during the day. This can act as an anchor when things feel chaotic. Examples. Endure and persist. Epictetus. I do only what is mine to do. Marcus Aurelius. Let me not be angry with circumstances. Seneca. Do not suffer imagined troubles. Modern Stoic paraphrase. Repeat it. Feel it. Let it settle in your bones. The science behind it. This practice isn't just philosophical. It's practical and backed by psychology. Morning reflection activates the prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for decision-making, emotional regulation, and impulse control. It reduces cortisol spikes associated with stress and helps you shift from reactive to responsive mode. Instead of being pulled into a dozen directions, you begin the day centered, with perspective. Real-life example. Let's say you have a presentation today. You're anxious. Instead of jumping into that anxiety, you pause in the morning. You ask, what's the worst that can happen? How can I handle nerves with dignity? What outcome can I not control? What's within my power? Now, instead of fearing the moment, you're prepared for it. You've built internal armor, and even if the presentation goes terribly, you've already rehearsed how to stay composed. That's the Stoic advantage. Final thought. Morning reflection is not about escaping the day. It's about meeting it with readiness. It's not glamorous. You won't find it trending on TikTok, but it works. It's ancient, and it's transformative. So tomorrow morning, before your phone, before your inbox, before the noise, pause, sit with yourself. Reflect, like a Stoic, and begin the day not as a victim of time, but as its master. 2. Embrace physical discomfort. Train the body. Fortify the mind. What if one of the most powerful ways to build a stronger, calmer, more resilient mind was through the body? The Stoics believed it was. To them, discipline wasn't just something you practiced during moments of crisis. It was something you trained daily, especially in the morning, through intentional acts of discomfort. Seneca, one of the great Stoic philosophers, wrote, "Set aside a certain number of days during which you shall be content with the scantiest and cheapest fare, with coarse and rough dress, saying to yourself, is this the condition I feared?" In other words, if you never let yourself feel discomfort, discomfort will always control you. But if you learn to choose it, to greet it willingly, it loses its power. Why? Because comfort breeds dependence. Discomfort breeds strength. Think about it. Most of the world today is designed to eliminate struggle. You can order food without cooking. You can be entertained endlessly without lifting a finger. You can avoid hard conversations with a text or swipe. But at what cost? Comfort makes us soft. Emotionally, physically, spiritually. The Stoics understood this. That's why they practiced voluntary discomfort, not to suffer, but to prepare. Modern science now confirms what the Stoics already knew. When you choose to endure small physical challenges each day, you build mental resilience, emotional regulation, and long-term grit. So what does this look like in the morning? Let's break it down. Step 1. Start with the body. You don't have to run a marathon at 5 a.m. or punish yourself. But you do need to challenge the body on purpose. Why? Because the mind and body are not separate. When your body is pushed, even gently, your mind follows. And when your mind follows, your spirit awakens. Here are simple examples of morning discomfort that create strength. A cold shower, not for social media, for mastery over your reactions. The shock trains your nervous system to stay calm under stress. A short, intense workout, push-ups, squats, burpees, a quick run. Nothing fancy. Just enough to feel your body wake up and remember, I am capable. Fasting or skipping breakfast. Occasionally choose hunger. Let yourself feel it. Not as deprivation, but as training to know you can go without and still function. Waking up on the first alarm. No snooze, no delay. This is you telling your body, I am in charge, not my impulses. Each of these is minor. None are glamorous. But over time, they build a deep, quiet confidence. Step 2. Shift from I have to I choose to. The magic of embracing discomfort is in the decision. Anyone can suffer when life forces it on them. But the Stoic chooses small suffering now to prepare for the big ones later. So instead of saying, I have to take a cold shower, say, I choose to train myself. Instead of saying, I don't want to work out, say, this is the cost of strength. This shift rewires your brain. It reminds you that you're not a prisoner of comfort. You're the architect of your character. Step 3. Know the why. Without a strong why, discomfort feels like punishment. With a strong why, it becomes transformation. So ask yourself, what kind of person do I want to be when life hits hard? Do I want to be soft, reactive, dependent? Or do I want to be grounded, strong, unfazed? Every moment of chosen discomfort in the morning is a vote for that second version of you. Remember, the Stoics didn't seek discomfort to feel superior. They sought it to be prepared. And that's the difference. Step 4. Build a ritual, not a performance. Modern culture often turns discomfort into content. Ice baths for likes, workouts for aesthetics. The Stoic way is different. This is not for show. It's for soul. It's a private ritual, one between you and your inner discipline. Wake up. Move your body. Stand in cold water. Sit in silence when the mind wants stimulation. No one has to see it. No one has to clap for it. You will know. And that's enough. Step 5. Stay consistent, not extreme. Stoicism isn't about extremes. It's about consistency. Don't turn discomfort into self-punishment. That's not virtue. That's ego. Instead, aim for steady, sustainable challenge. A little bit each day. Something that pushes you just outside your comfort zone. Some days it'll be a 15-minute walk without music. Other days it'll be a tough workout. What matters is that you don't go numb. That you don't let comfort run the show. Real-life example. Let's say it's 6:30 a.m. Your bed is warm. The room is cold. You have two voices inside you. One says, just sleep in. You deserve it. The other says, get up, move, show yourself what you're made of. Which voice you feed? That's who you become. You get up. You hit the cold floor. You do 20 push-ups. You breathe through the tension. You enter the shower. Turn the knob cold. You flinch, but you stay. You dry off. Heart beating, but mind steady. It's 6:50 a.m. You haven't checked your phone. You haven't seen the news, but you've already won something invisible. That win will carry into your meetings, your interactions, your thought. You are now harder to shake. That's the reward of chosen discomfort. Closing reflection. In a world chasing ease, the Stoic chases strength. And strength isn't built in crisis. It's built in quiet decisions, like how you start your morning. So choose discomfort. Choose challenge. Choose a few minutes of difficulty now, to become someone unbreakable later. You don't need to prove anything to anyone, but you do need to prove something to yourself. Get up, do the hard thing, and walk into the day with a calm mind. In a strong body. 3. Read or listen to Stoic wisdom. Feed your mind before the world pollutes it. You wake up, your body is still shaking off sleep. Your mind is empty, quiet, like a blank canvas. This moment is rare and powerful. Most people waste it. They grab their phones. They scroll headlines, emails, texts, injecting anxiety, gossip, and noise into a mind that was just peaceful. But the Stoic doesn't do that. The Stoic starts the day by feeding the mind something different. Wisdom, not noise, not clickbait, not outrage. Wisdom, because just like your body needs nourishment, so does your mind. And in the Stoic world, morning is when you feed it deliberately, carefully, and with depth. Marcus Aurelius, emperor of Rome, used the early hours to remind himself of what truly mattered. He didn't read to look smart. He read to stay grounded. Every morning, he returned to his journal, what we now call meditations, to anchor his soul before the world tried to unmoor it. He wrote things like, you could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. Or, don't waste time arguing what a good person should be. Be one. He wasn't writing for anyone else. He was reading and writing to remind himself every day of how to live. That is the Stoic purpose of morning wisdom, to protect your mind from the day ahead, by training it with truths that never expire. Why it matters. Modern life moves fast. Too fast. Before you've brushed your teeth, you're already comparing your life to strangers on the internet, reacting to emails or thinking about problems that haven't even happened yet. Your thoughts aren't yours anymore. They're borrowed, triggered, hijacked. But Stoic wisdom, it's different. It slows you down. Reason-heads you, pulls you out of the stream and says, here is what matters. Here is what you can control. Here is how to suffer less. Here is how to act with dignity. That's not just reading. That's soul armor. How to practice it. Step 1. Choose your source. You don't need a bookshelf full of ancient philosophy. You just need a few timeless voices. These 3 are a great place to start. Marcus Aurelius, Meditations, a diary of thoughts written by a Roman emperor to himself. Personal, raw, full of perspective. Epictetus, Discourses, or the Enchiridion, a former slave turned teacher who reminds us that we always have a choice, no matter what life does. Seneca, Letters from a Stoic, more polished and poetic, but filled with practical advice about wealth, anger, death, and control. Can't read in the morning? Listen instead. There are excellent Stoic audio readings, summaries, and podcasts, even short 5-minute ones. Let wisdom be the first voice you hear, not the news. Step 2. Go slow. Don't treat Stoic reading like homework. You're not trying to finish a book. You're trying to absorb an idea. One sentence, if truly understood, can reshape your entire day. You might read, "It's not things that upset us, but our judgment about things." Epictetus. Pause there. Think about it. Say it again. It's not the rude driver. It's your judgment. It's not the email. It's your expectation. It's not the rain. It's your resistance to it. That's how Stoic wisdom works, not in quantity but in clarity. Step 3. Reflect and apply. After reading, don't just move on. Ask, how does this apply to my life today? Where will I be tempted to forget this? What specific moment might this help me handle? Let's say you read, "You always own the option of having no opinion." Marcus Aurelius. That might help you ignore gossip at work, or not get sucked into political rage online, or let go of the need to win every conversation. You're not just reading philosophy. You're installing mental software. Step 4. Keep it visible. After you've read or listened, pick one idea to carry with you. Write it down, on a sticky note, in your phone, on a whiteboard. One line. Something like, "Let it go. It's outside your control. Act with justice. Speak with truth. I cannot control others, only myself." Throughout the day, glance at it. Whisper it to yourself. When you feel off balance, it becomes your compass. This is called a daily reflection, and the Stoics used it religiously. Step 5. Don't intellectualize. Internalize. Stoicism is not about sounding smart. It's about living wisely. You can read every book, quote every passage, and still be impatient, reactive, and selfish. The Stoics would say you missed the point. They valued action over intellect, character over theory. So don't worry if you don't understand everything. Worry if you aren't applying anything. Let the words change your reactions. Let them soften your ego. Let them interrupt your anger. That's when reading becomes transformation. Real-life example. Let's say you read a quote from Seneca in the morning. "He is a great man who uses earthenware dishes as if they were silver, but he is equally great who uses silver as if it were earthenware." The rest of the day you're reminded, it's not the object that matters. It's how you carry yourself. You don't boast about your car. You don't apologize for your apartment. You don't seek status. You seek virtue. The reading shaped your mindset, and now you move through the world lighter. That's the Stoic way. Closing reflection. Every day your mind will be tested. People will frustrate you. Plans will fall apart. Your emotions will flare. Your ego will want to win. That's why the morning matters. That's why reading wisdom first, before the noise, is so important. Because when the storm comes, it's too late to build the shelter. But if you've already armed your mind with truth, the storm will pass, and you'll still be standing. So tomorrow, before you scroll, before you rush, before you react, take 5 minutes. Read something ancient, something real, something that reminds you. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to stay anchored. 4. Journal with brutal honesty. The mirror that never lies. When was the last time you told yourself the truth? Not the polished version you show online. Not the defensive version you use with others. The real version. The raw one. The one that admits where you're falling short, without excuse or sugarcoating. That's what Stoic journaling is about. It's not for social media. It's not to vent. It's not even to make you feel better. It's to face yourself. Clearly, honestly, and courageously. Because the Stoics believed if you can't see yourself clearly, you can't improve. And if you lie to yourself, even in small ways, you forfeit your power to grow. Journaling, for them, wasn't therapy. It was self-governance. Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man in the world, wrote to himself every morning and every night. He didn't write to be admired. He wrote to stay accountable. He questioned himself. He reminded himself. He corrected himself. Are you afraid of death because you won't be able to do this anymore? Write down what you think each morning. That's how serious it was to him. The journal wasn't a notebook. It was a battlefield. The place where you confront the mind before the world does. Why? Morning journaling matters. In the morning, your mind is more honest, less corrupted, less distracted. You haven't yet been pulled in 1,000 directions. It's the perfect time to ask, what am I afraid of today? What temptations will try to control me? What kind of person do I want to be even if no one is watching? The goal isn't perfection, it's clarity, ownership, intent. The Stoics believe that without self-examination, life becomes automatic, and automatic is rarely virtuous. So you must interrupt it, with reflection, with truth, with word. How to journal like a Stoic. Step 1. Drop the mask. The first rule of Stoic journaling. Drop the performance. This is not about looking good. It's about being real. You're not journaling to prove anything. You're journaling to expose everything. The envy, the fear, the anger, the laziness, the pride. If you can't say it here in private, you'll never overcome it in public. So be brutal. I crave recognition more than I want to admit. I know what the right thing is. I just don't want to do it. I lied yesterday, and I feel sick about it. I've been pretending to be strong when I'm actually lost. This is not weakness. This is strength. Real strength. Step 2. Ask sharp questions. Stoic journaling isn't about paragraphs. It's about insight. One sharp question is worth more than 5 vague pages. Here are a few that Stoics used, and you can too. What am I avoiding and why? What do I fear today, and is it rational? What desire is pulling me off course? What would the wise version of me do? If this were my last day, how would I act? These questions are designed to cut through ego, excuse, and fog. They don't comfort you. They challenge you. That's why they work. Step 3. Admit the ugly parts. Seneca said, the first step towards virtue is to recognize our faults. Not justify, not downplay. Recognize. That means journaling things like, I snapped at my partner not because they were wrong but because I was impatient. I cared more about likes than about truth. I felt jealous when my friend succeeded. That's on me. The point is not to feel ashamed. The point is to take responsibility. Because once you own it, you can change it. But as long as you blame, you stay stuck. Step 4. Anchor to values, not feelings. Your journal is not your therapist. It's your compass. Use it to realign with your values. Justice, courage, discipline, wisdom. Write out how you want to act, even if you don't feel like it. For example, I will stay calm in the meeting, even if provoked. I will speak truthfully, even if it costs me approval. I will not indulge distractions. I will focus. You're writing your own behavioral contract. Not a wish list, a code. Step 5. Keep it simple, but daily. You don't need an hour. You don't need a perfect routine. What you need is consistency. Even 5 minutes of honest writing can reset your mind for the entire day. Use pen and paper if you can. There's something grounding about the physical act. But digital works too, as long as it's real. Don't let journaling become another performance. Let it be your sanctuary, a real-life example. Let's say you wake up, feeling off, anxious, unmotivated, a little bitter. Instead of pushing it down or ignoring it, you sit down with your journal. You write, feeling resentful this morning, didn't sleep well, jealous of how others seem to have it all figured out as I'm comparing too much. Also, I've been lazy with my training, making excuses. I want to get back to who I was when I was focused. Today, I'll stop checking my phone until noon. I'll train at 9 a.m. I'll ignore drama and do the work. I am not here to impress. I'm here to improve. That's 90 seconds of writing. But it just saved you hours of spiraling. It just gave your day a backbone. That's what Stoic journaling does. Closing reflection. Most people lie to themselves their entire lives. Quietly, repeatedly, tragically. The Stoic refuses that path. The Stoic chooses to sit down every morning and face the truth. No audience, no praise, no filter, just honesty. Because only with that honesty can you build discipline. And only with discipline can you build freedom. So tomorrow morning, don't just check your calendar, check your character. Ask, who am I becoming? Then open the page and answer not perfectly but truthfully. Because every honest word you write is one step closer to who you're meant to be. 5. Visualize the day with detachment. Practice premeditation malorum. Before the day begins, before the chaos starts pulling you in every direction, the Stoic prepares, not with a to-do list, not with blind optimism, but with sober imagination. This is called premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. It's not pessimism. It's preparation. You sit quietly in the morning and walk yourself through the day ahead, not just what will happen but what could go wrong. The meeting that might go sideways, the rude comment from a stranger, the delay, the traffic, the missed call, the criticism, the craving, the temptation. You don't visualize it to scare yourself. You visualize it to train yourself. So when the day comes and the bad thing happens, you won't be shocked. You'll be ready. The Stoic doesn't hope for a perfect day. The Stoic becomes the kind of person who can handle an imperfect one. Why this practice is powerful. Modern culture trains us to expect ease, comfort, praise, anything less, and we feel attacked. The Stoic reverses this. They say, I will not only expect resistance, I will welcome it as the training ground for character. So they begin the day with a mental simulation. If I am insulted today, I will stay calm. If I fail, I will learn, not panic. If things go differently than planned, I will adapt with grace. This does two things. 1. It breaks the illusion that you are in control of everything. 2. It gives you a mental playbook for how to respond with virtue. So when the storm hits, you don't collapse, you execute. Seneca put it this way. He robs present ills of their power who has perceived their coming beforehand. How to practice premeditation. Malorum. Step 1. Sit still. Close your eyes. Breathe. Give yourself 5 minutes. You've just journaled with honesty. You've already read or listened to wisdom. Now it's time to simulate your day. Like a pilot running a flight plan, sit quietly, breathe deeply, and mentally walk through your upcoming hours. Step 2. Play out the events. With realism. Think about your schedule. Let's say you have a morning commute. You're meeting someone you don't trust. You've got a deadline that's stressing you out. You'll be around someone who annoys you. Now visualize each of those moments, not perfectly, but as they might realistically unfold. Imagine the traffic jam, the email that angers you, the moment you get cut off in traffic, the colleague who takes credit for your work, the craving to check social media when you need to focus. Don't dramatize, don't catastrophize, just simulate. Then imagine yourself responding, not like the weak version of you, but like the strong one. Calm, focused, grounded, rational. Step 3. Create a Stoic response plan. After visualizing each scenario, mentally rehearse how you will respond. For example, scenario: someone criticizes you unfairly. Response: pause. Don't react emotionally. Respond with logic or choose silence. Scenario: you feel unmotivated midday. Response: remember your reason. Stand up. Move your body. Begin. Even small. Scenario: you're tempted to waste time online. Response: remind yourself. Discipline equals freedom. Close the tab. Return to the task. This is cognitive training. Mental rehearsal. And it works. Your brain can't tell the difference between imagined action and real action, so you're building muscle memory. Step 4. Finish with acceptance. Once you've visualized the obstacles and practiced your responses, remind yourself of one final truth. It still might not go according to plan. And that's okay. The goal of this practice is not to control the day. The goal is to prepare yourself so that the day cannot control you. So you finish with a deep breath and a silent affirmation. Let whatever happens today happen. I will remain steady. Or as Epictetus taught, don't seek for things to happen the way you want them to. Rather wish that what happens happen the way it happens. Then you will be happy. This is detachment, not indifference, not passivity. Detachment means I will show up fully, but I will not demand perfection from life. I will do my duty, but I will not be thrown off by outcomes I cannot control. Real life example. You're headed into a tense work meeting. Instead of just hoping it goes smoothly, you take 5 minutes beforehand. You visualize someone disagreeing with you, you getting flustered, someone interrupting or undercutting your point. You don't spiral. You simulate. You picture yourself breathing, pausing, not taking it personally, clarifying your message with calmness, listening with strength, holding your center. When the moment comes and it plays out exactly as you imagined, you're not rattled. You've been there already, mentally, emotionally. That's Stoic preparation in action. Closing reflection. Most people start their day with hope. The Stoics starts with readiness. They don't demand a perfect morning. They rehearse for an imperfect one. Because they know life rarely goes according to plan. But that's okay, as long as you have a plan for how you will act. So tomorrow, before the emails, the calls, the meetings, close your eyes. Picture the pressure. Picture the discomfort. Picture the failures, the frictions, the frustrations. Then picture your response. And when the day begins, you won't be thrown off, because you've already been here. And you already chose strength over emotion, action over panic, discipline over impulse. That's the Stoic advantage. 6. Train your body. Train your mind. Discipline through movement. The Stoics didn't worship the body, but they respected it, because they understood something modern culture often forgets. Discipline is not just mental, it's physical. The strength to say no, to endure hardship, to stay calm in chaos. All of it begins with how you treat your body. That's why Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You must build your life action by action, and be content if each one achieves its goal as far as possible, and no one can keep you from this." And what was his first action every day? Get up, move, train. Why? Because the body is the first battlefield. You don't win the day from your desk. You win it the moment you choose discomfort over ease. You win it the moment you step into the cold, into the weight, into the wind. Not because it feels good, but because it makes you strong. Why movement matters to the Stoic. Stoicism isn't just a philosophy of thought, it's a philosophy of action. And action requires energy, stamina, presence. Seneca warned about indulgence. He saw what a soft body does to the mind, how comfort becomes dependency, how weakness seeps in slowly, disguised as self-care, disguised as rest. He said, "No man is more unhappy than he who never faces adversity. For he is not permitted to prove himself." That's why the Stoics trained. Not to build biceps, but to build willpower. To remind the body, you obey me, not the other way around. This doesn't mean punishing yourself. It means reclaiming your edge. Movement is a mirror. When you push your body, you meet the truth. You learn how easily you give up. You learn how you talk yourself out of things. You learn how you perform when no one's watching. And when you learn that in training, you carry it into everything else. Training is a form of philosophy, expressed through sweat, breath, and effort. How to train like a Stoic. Step 1. Begin with the mind. Before you pick up a weight or step onto the trail, ask yourself, why am I doing this? The Stoic doesn't move to look good. He moves to live good. He trains to sharpen discipline, to reject laziness, to become familiar with discomfort. Ask, can I command myself? Can I continue when it burns? Can I stay present through the repetition? Training isn't punishment. It's proof that your higher self is in charge. Step 2. Choose challenge over comfort. You don't need to be a bodybuilder, but you do need resistance. The Stoics believed that without resistance, virtue weakens. So pick something that pushes you. A cold shower instead of warm. A run instead of scrolling. 20 push-ups when your body says sleep. You're not training the muscles, you're training the habit. I do hard things on purpose. This makes the rest of life easier. Step 3. Be consistent, not extreme. Stoicism teaches moderation. Don't burn out. Don't show off. Better to train 30 minutes a day for life than 3 hours a day for a week. Marcus Aurelius trained his body just as he trained his thoughts, consistently, quietly, with intent. Choose a discipline that suits your life. Body weight exercises, stretching and mobility, strength training, martial art, long walks or rucks, cold exposure. The activity doesn't matter. The commitment does. You're not chasing a physique. You're building a practice. Step 4. Train first, then talk. Modern culture loves talking about fitness more than doing it. The Stoic flips it. Do the work, then shut up. Your discipline should speak louder than your posts. Seneca said, "Don't explain your philosophy. Embody it." That means you don't need approval. You don't need attention. You don't even need motivation. You need movement. You need to sweat. You need to do what most won't, quietly, daily, relentlessly. Step 5. Reflect, post-training. Once you've finished your session, don't rush into the day. Pause. Ask, what did I learn? Where did I quit early? Where did I surprise myself? What discomfort did I overcome? This reflection turns a workout into a lesson. For example, I didn't want to run. I did anyway. I wanted to stop halfway. I didn't. I kept going. That's progress. That's proof. This mindset begins to carry over. Soon, you're not just showing up in training, you're showing up in meetings, in relationships, in life. Because your body now believes you. It knows. When we say we'll show up, we show up. A real-life example. Let's say you've had a hard morning. Low mood. Mental fog. Anxiety. Whispering that you're behind on everything. The old you would scroll. Complain. Delay. The Stoic you. You lace up. You walk. You breathe. You run. You don't feel like it. But you go anyway. As your body moves, your mind sharpens. The fog lifts. Not because you solved everything, but because you reclaimed agency. You chose action over paralysis. That's a win. That's a rep. That's what stoicism feels like. Not a quote on a wall, but a choice in the mud. Closing reflection. Your body is not your enemy. It's your training partner. And every morning it asks one question. Who's in charge? The Stoic answers with motion. Not to escape pain, but to face it. To grow from it. To command the self before the world can. So tomorrow, before the inbox, before the meetings, before the temptations, move. And let that movement be your statement. I am not soft. I am not a slave to mood or weakness. I am not here for comfort. I am here for strength, earned through sweat, breath, and action. Train the body. Train the mind. Because one day, you'll need both. 7. Remember you're mortal. Memento Mori. Begin with the end in mind. There's one thought more powerful than any motivational quote. More grounding than any meditation. More clarifying than any planner or productivity app. And it's this. You're going to die. Not someday. Not in theory. But in reality. You, yes, you will stop breathing. Sooner than you expect. The Stoics began every day with this reminder. Memento Mori. Remember you must die. Why? Because it changes everything. Memento Mori isn't morbid. It's motivational. It wakes you up. It shakes you out of your petty frustrations, your fake urgency, your ego games. It forces you to ask, what am I doing with this one brief life? What do I really care about? What am I wasting time on? And perhaps most important, if today was my last day, would I be proud of how I'm living? Why the Stoics faced death daily. Modern culture hides death, avoids it, pretends it only happens to other people. The Stoics did the opposite. They looked it in the face. They didn't do this to be edgy or dark. They did it to stay awake. Seneca wrote, "Let us prepare our minds as if we'd come to the very end of life. Let us postpone nothing." Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily, you could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. That's not depression. That's direction. Because when you truly face death, you stop wasting time. You stop procrastinating. You stop holding grudges, chasing applause, waiting for permission. You start living deliberately. You stop saying someday and start saying now. How to practice Memento Mori in the morning. Step 1. Sit in stillness. Before you dive into tasks and distractions, sit, breathe. Close your eyes, and remind yourself, with honesty, not drama, that you are mortal. This could be your last sunrise, your last Monday, your last coffee. Feel the weight of that truth, not to depress you, but to sharpen you. Step 2. Ask the question. Now ask, if this were my last day, how would I live it? You're not trying to plan your bucket list. You're trying to realign your values. Would you waste time scrolling? Get angry at small things? Obsess over how many likes you got? Stay silent when you had something to say? Postpone that phone call again? Or would you tell someone you love them? Work on something meaningful. Forgive a grudge. Speak your truth. Go for a walk in the sun. Just to feel alive. This is not fantasy. It's focus. It's your true priorities. Revealed. Step 3. Reflect on regret. Now ask, what would I regret if I died today? Would you regret not writing your book? Not spending time with your kids? Not being honest with your partner? Not taking that risk you've been avoiding? Seneca said, it's not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. Memento Mori strips away the illusion of endless time. It makes you look regret in the face, so you can avoid it now while you still can. Step 4. Turn reflection into action. It's not enough to think about death. You must use it. You must let it shape your behavior. So take one small action each morning that honors your mortality. That might mean sending a voice note to someone you care about, writing one paragraph of the project that matters, saying no to something soul-draining, meditating in silence, deleting a distraction. You're not living recklessly. You're living intentionally with urgency, clarity, and presence. A real-life example. You wake up tired. You feel resistance. You want to skip your routine. Check your phone. Slip into autopilot. But then you remember. Memento Mori. You could die today. Not in a tragic sense, but in a real one. And suddenly, scrolling feels stupid. Procrastination feels insulting. The little stressors feel laughable. So you sit up. Breathe. Place your hand on your chest. Feel your heart beat. You whisper, this is a gift. Then you get up and live like you mean it. You don't rush. You don't drift. You show up fully. That's Stoicism in practice. Closing reflection. Memento Mori is not about fearing death. It's about fearing the wrong things. Wasted time, a numb heart, a cowardly life. Dying full of excuses. It reminds you, you don't have forever. You have now. You have this moment, this breath, this step, this conversation, and that's enough, if you use it. The Stoic morning doesn't end with anxiety or dread. It ends with gratitude, with resolve, with perspective. You've done the inner work. You've faced the hard truths. And now, you step into the day with eyes wide open, grounded, grateful, and ready. Because when you remember death, you finally start living. So say it again softly. Memento Mori. Then rise and live like it means something. You don't need a perfect morning routine. You need a powerful one. One that shapes your mind, strengthens your soul, and prepares you to face life with courage and calm. So tomorrow morning, don't just wake up. Rise. Like a Stoic. Pick one habit. Start small. Start steady. And remember, your days shape your life. And your mornings shape your days. Choose wisely.